Chronicles TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, we begin with the chapter, episode 4, number 2, Resolve Area. Today's episode right now, we're going to figure out what happened to our friend, Cosmo, and figure out where he went.
Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million.
30 million? Are there even that many people in that world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the Imperial Capital Tokyo is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition main auditorium. The event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparation and negotiation with other countries. It's only a tremendous achievement. Congratulations! The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. The cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential, which is why the landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
It's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way. I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. The disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Sut as at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
And can you not do that now?
Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep the story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I say.
Unintended repercussions of a trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
About Lord Von Zyg's apprentice.
Ah yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice to Lord Von Zych in the first place?
It became about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man has apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my, so he stole a way to get here?
He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Von Zych. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to be burdening Lord Von Zych with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask?
He's proving to be a great help to Lord Von Zych. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean,
Genshin Asogi. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murderers, unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
And that's what the color was for, right? No one here had believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So The true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand?
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the men's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believe anyway.
Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey?
What else? Anyone here? Move. Are we back here yet? Anyone here? What am I doing? What am I presenting? Huh? Converse? Are we gonna make progress with the story or what? What exactly are we gonna do next? Go through this again? Huh? What are we doing? Where are we going? It's good news that Professor Mikoto will arrive safely, isn't it?
Yes, it's wonderful. And the fact that Father has been invited to this important international event. It really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Gyokuro, us, and Cosmo, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. Sada's father came here as a visiting tourist 16 years ago in Cosmo. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. The also the waters are starting to swell again now.
What am I doing here? What are we investigating? I'm kinda lost here. Wait.
This looks like last week's edition. What's this article circled in red ink here? It's an advertising column. It says, "The Red-Headed League."
The Red-Headed League. What's that?
I don't know. I never heard of it before, but...
Is something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that. Lively hair. What? Okay, let's see what this is about. Red-Headed League. On account of the bequest of the late Ezekiel Hopkins of Laban, PA, USA, there is another vacancy open which entitles a member of the league to a salary of £4 a week for purely normal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning on the 31st at the large park on the line. What? What? Alrighty then. Want to explain what this is? It looks like as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruto. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast. So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circle? You've noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecific governments. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are the people paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. I didn't say it. I'm sure that every redheaded person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can? But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did I have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruto, though it pains me to admit it. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop of my head is neither dye nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. In the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. So would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, is it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say? But of course! To earn £4 a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger. Surely. So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with new hair red. For the park on Lime Street with the Red-Headed League who are interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was struck with red-headed folk like a Coster Orange Barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. When the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" That is a blunder. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation started within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those two redheads.
So that's what happened. Aha! Here is my guest now, my latest client with money to spend.
Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save a locating runaway, of course.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Huh? It's you!
Mr. Sholmes, Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband. He's run away.
The romantic one. To upset me?
I beg your pardon?
Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. That's just sad. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. What? To upset me? I beg your pardon. Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Or some tea. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I get it now. I get it. Okay, I got it now. I got it.
Of course.
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently.
Yes, now you come to mention it.
As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil.
Evie Vigil?
I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is a reward enough.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of banana.
Oh my god, you fool! What about little Iris? I will of course make a mental note for your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also.
If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be...
Oh, me?
What I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand?
Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
Ah, I see.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why did I ever get my hopes up? Forgive me for asking, Miss Vigil, but have we met someone before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my...
Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do it so in a more gentlemanly fashion. So it was what he was hoping for.
Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week?
Ah, I knew I recognized her. The one that's always into romance. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more.
Now look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. Tell us about your husband, madam.
Mr. Virgil, my dowry, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married?
It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh, gosh.
Your dress is the latest style, your hat is clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty. He rather dotes on me.
Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
A guard? That is somewhat unusual. Prison warder. So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for the extra responsibility, he is
remunerated
more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it. Is it the exact same one?
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court? That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable.
Sorry, Mr. Sholmes? I'm afraid you've lost me.
Pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent. Laughable. So,
the truth is, my husband does at this time have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all the ordinary for him to not return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Dolly, whatever can happen?
My dear Miss Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Miss Virgil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this sweet rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you shared with us, Miss Virgil. I believe I have all information I need to begin with my investigation.
Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report. I'm quite sure.
So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I did swear on it. I merely give the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. And by that time I've successfully located Mr. Virgil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of the Lowgate Cemetery.
I don't want to go through this again.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
Professor. And now a warder for the prison has mysteriously disappeared. It would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed, but nothing you can handle? I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going there to yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen with this hair. But didn't you go to luncheon with that hair? That was quite different matter. So I leave it at the chair keep ahead. So now if you excuse me, I'm rather busy. Of course you are. And with that, we'll end the episode right here. Like, comment, subscribe, Chronicles.